I've disrespected women before this. I respect anyone, man or woman, that deserves respect, right? But at this point right now, I respect every
50%.
single woman on the planet more than I respect you and all these other fools, all these other guys, because you guys are a pathetic excuse for a man. That's the truth of the matter. The things you guys are saying, the ad hominem attacks, the gaslighting that you guys are doing
Connected to
and not even realizing,
iPhone.
and then flipping and saying that we're doing that, it's because you have nothing to come back with. You're caught with your pants down, and instead of going to cry and running off to mommy and crying that they caught me, you're coming out here and trying to blow a smoke screen here to cover up the truth. What are your thoughts, Brian? I mean, it's ridiculous. The behavior of these men is absolutely asinine.
Well, they just trying to attack everyone, and it's not going to work because the real people that know what's going on and believe in what's happened are not going to go along with the bullshit anymore. So let them make all the videos they want. It's just sad, because when I did my channel, I started it, I was hoping that it would catch fire where people would catch on and say, you know what, you're right, let's go after the companies, let's make change, let's bring back the $10 base pays, let's get the 20% mandatory tips, let's get benefits for drivers and all kinds of stuff, right? And yet these people are just like, it's every man for himself, who gives a shit about anyone, all this stuff. And it's like, do you not care about people? These people claim to care about their own families, and yet that they turn their back on the driving community, and they brag about their channels and how much money I made and this and that. No one gives a shit about that. Be a real human being. Start standing up for humanity and what counts. Because the bigger picture here, and some of you don't believe in God, but God is real, and He's watching over this whole thing, folks. And in the end, He's separating the wheat from the tares. And you don't want to be on the wrong side of history, folks. You want to be on the righteous side. And you can change. You can ask God to repent and say, Jesus, I'm sorry that I sinned against you. I forgive me. And if you guys did that, the community would forgive you. I forgive you right readily. I don't hate anyone or anything, but people are just lost. I mean, Jesus said this in the Bible. It said, the God of this world blinds those who falsely believe, lest the glorious gospel of Jesus Christ shines upon them. And how true that really is. I'm not perfect. None of you are. Not Eli's not perfect, but we need to try to strive for the good things, because your life is here and gone the next. And Jesus says to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. And someday you're going to stand in front of him and he's going to say, why didn't you help the people? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? You want to say, hey, I corrected it. I did the right things. I moved forward and did the right things for, especially for the community, standing up for the community, and this is just the driving community. This should apply through life, right. Life lessons, not just drivers. Anyways, back to you, Eli.
Yeah, we're going to start wrapping this up, Brian. Thank you for that. No, I agree with you, man. I'll tell you this. I'm going to share this thought here and give you a chance to share your final thoughts. And then I'll have you go off the StreamYard and shut down the show with some other things I'm going to mention. What this all boils down to me is sadness for the men in this world nowadays. Not all men, but many of them that are just not behaving like men. Like, this behavior is just not masculine. And this is why women are upset. Women are upset because guys are behaving in this way. I don't understand. Pedro has a girlfriend, and he's put her name out there. It's Madison, right? And I don't understand how Madison puts up with the BS that he, puts out there and what he's dealing with. I mean, maybe the money's good. See, the thing is, some women, and people can say the same thing about my lady, but my lady and I, she's got her money, I got mine. Listen, we're good. But some women will stick with a guy because they have money and maybe they don't have another choice, or maybe they don't want to start over, right? But I just can't understand how some of these guys are able to have a personal life when they behave this way, because there's not a woman on the planet that's going to deal with a guy that does what Pedro does. At least a woman that has morals, values, and ethics, right? Um, and that's what really just gets to me the most. It's the behavior. It's at the end of the day, these guys are not behaving, like real grown mature men. And granted, yes, when you do drama and you do stupid shit, you get a lot more attention on YouTube, but that is short lived. It's not going to last for a while. It gets boring, gets old. Once you make a fool out of yourself, it's just repeating the same thing that we already know. So how much further are you going to take this foolishness, Pedro and Hannibal? And monetize it while you can. I'm sure you're getting some money from my haters and other people, but eventually they're going to stop paying you for this. Eventually, it's going to burn itself out. What are you going to do then? Try to fix your tarnished name? It's going to be too late. Now, Brian, what are your final thoughts, brother? And then I'm going to shut this down in a few minutes here. I'll get you off the panel after you're done with your final thoughts.
Well, my final thoughts is that I made a video called, why can't we just get along? Why can't we all just get along, right?
And that refers to, trying to do the best you can as a person in life, trying to make someone's life happy, be, comforting, being a good family person, all that. And it should reflect on the community too. And you should always be trying to help people whenever you can. And to hold like information back and for your own benefit and stuff is not a good thing, because it puts you in a place of isolation and almost like living a double life or something, because at the end of the day, you have to go home to your family and you have to say, oh, honey, I'm home, especially if you're doing, gig work full time, because there's a lot of full time people now doing it. But and it's a revolving door because how bad the economy is. And I just want to say that the economy is going to get way worse than any of you ever imagined in your life, way worse than any market crash that you've ever seen in the past. I can't tell you the exact month or year, but if I had to guess, it'd be within the next 3 years. And the whole face of America is going to look different than it is now. I mean, we're talking about massive depression and everything due to the economy failing. And people are not going to be able to afford to use DoorDash or anything else. So what are they going to do then? They're going to have to go find other jobs. I know that it's part-time money for some, but even the part-time money is not going to be there in the future. You think, oh, everything's just going to be wonderful, it's going to continue. It's not. Look up channels like Peter Schiff, who's an economist, and find out what's really going on in the world. I mean, some mainstream media won't cover stuff and they won't tell you the right things, but you need to branch out and find out what's going on, because there's a big financial hurt coming for everyone, including the gig community. And so get all the money you can right now, because you're going to need it to save up for the future, because that technocracy is being brought in. So basically, just do the right things. Just try to help people and stop lying to them. Change your tune, Back to you, Eli. And thank you for everyone listening to the stream and, supporting the drivers, because it's all about making sure that drivers get a better life. Go ahead, Eli.
Absolutely, Brian. Before I have you step off the panel, then I'm going to wrap this up for 5 minutes by myself. I really want to thank you for being here today, taking the time out of your busy day. I know you've lost a lot of sleep, so have I. Folks, Brian and I and the people over here, we really do care about your best interest. We are losing sleep over this, but this is our passion. When you love what you do and you truly believe in what you're doing is right for the best overall interest of everyone, you will lose sleep for it. I mean, your body won't allow you to sleep until you get the work done, because you care about the people that much. And that's it. That's what this all boils down to. What we're seeing out here on YouTube with these guys is exactly what what's his name was saying there. Ahmad says YouTube has become the hive of scammers and grifters. Right, that's what these guys are. These guys are scammers and grifters, and then they're calling us scammers and grifters and mentally unstable and all this, right? the ad hominem attacks from them are they're trying to flip it on us to cover up their own shit, right? And listen, we're not falling for it, and more people that are now coming out to YouTube are not falling for these types of content creators, because if you think that Pedro, DoorDash Santiago, Hannibal is Hungry, Dashing Trader, Richard, aka Glitcher, Sin City Deliveries, if you think these guys are the only ones that are grifters and scammers, you got half of YouTube is like that. And we're just trying to shed some light that you need to be careful with who you follow and who you support, and whose advice you take at gospel and whose you don't, right? You got to be real careful about that. And that's why we're doing what we're doing here. But Brian, I really want to thank you for being here. We're at an hour and a half, the maximum limit. I want to value and respect your time. Unless you have anything else you want to say, thank you so much for being here, Brian. Thank you, man.
I just want to say I think it was an excellent interview. I was able to think about things that we needed to really get out there, and I just ask you all just to try to reflect on what's really important to you, your family, and the community. Start caring about the community more. I mean, care about people, because Jesus said we to love one another, right? Love yourself, love others as you love yourself, right? It's so important, because life is but a vapor. It goes away quick, and then you don't want to be on the wrong side of history. I'm telling you, folks. But I thank you, Eli. I thank all the people that are on his channel, and the subscribers and people who have come over to my DoorDash Sucks channel, and also Gig Apps Exposed. Just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to have an interview with you, Eli. And I'll catch you guys later, I guess.
Anytime, Brian, and we got to do it on your channel at some point. You wanted to get it going. You let me know when you're ready, and we'll make it happen. Thank you, Brian. Have a good one. All right, Brian, I'll put you backstage.
You got it.
Take care, man.
Thanks.
All right, bye. All right, that was Brian from the Gig Apps Exposed and DoorDash Sucks channels. Let's go back to full screen and start wrapping this up. Yes, this is Boston here. You're not going to hear me as well when I'm away from my microphone, but there we are.
Yeah, you guys, we're gonna watch Eli talk out, but I'm at the same place you are, Mr. Torp. I'm at the same place you are. This ain't about you, Rube, is it? This ain't about you, Rube. All right, you're gonna hear me as soon as Eli's done.
Into myself, so I can, help you folks and invest in you, and. Yeah, I mean, I really love what I do out here, folks. I really love helping people. So that's why I continue investing in myself, because if you don't invest in yourself, then you're not going to be able to invest in other people. Let me look at a few comments here before we go off the air. Hey, DoorDash Danny, how are you doing? Danny and Blaze, Brian and Eli, Sherlock Holmes and Watson, you guys are very good and deserve your rest. Thank you. Yeah. I'm going to be spending some time with my lady and getting to bed early tonight. Hot Facts with Robert Reese. You just made a channel on 8/31/2023. No videos, no anything. Troll. Hey, Robert, how you doing? Robert, I would love to collaborate with you at some point. If you want to ever do an interview or a stream together on my channel, your channel, or both, you let me know. Email me, Coach Eli at coach.eliasmellis.com. DoorDash Danny says, I've been away for a few days, but I thought on Friday the live stream was the last time we mentioned the glitch. Did I miss something in between? Yeah, well, things changed. People flipped like...
Yeah, we'll change the rules whenever we want to. Yeah, it's over when we say it's over. You guys can stop asking when it's over. It's over when we say it's over.
On the same page as us to flipping over to the dark side with Pedro and trash talking us and basically just doing whatever it takes to grow his channel and get it fully monetized. So, it's just the stupidity keeps happening, and we just keep mentioning it so people can see what's really going on and not support people that don't deserve the support. DoorDash Danny at Hot Facts with Robert Reese. What has that got to do with anything? Well, it does. Typically, newer channels that have no content, that say dumb things, are trolling. That's just the way it goes. We're experienced content creators, and we know that. No disrespect, DoorDash, Danny. Damian Blaze says, I knew about the glitch over the summer on a lot of people talking about it while on vacation. That's good to know, man. Okay. All right. There's just a lot going on here. I'll have to go back and scroll through the chat on the replay. Another thing I didn't mention, I'll mention this real quick. A lot of people have been saying, oh, Eli, I mentioned this earlier on my walk. I'll mention it here. You only have 554 deliveries. You only did it for less than 4 months. You should not be talking about this. You don't have enough deliveries to be talking about this. No, I have plenty.
Okay, that might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. But okay, let's keep going. Somebody now thinks that you're like 600th delivery. You're a veteran. Oh my God.
That did 554 deliveries, and you don't think that's enough to understand the system, then you're out of your mind. What does it take? 5,000 deliveries before you figure this out? If you can't figure out the games that DoorDash is playing with acceptance rates, scheduling.
Torp don't care about losing anybody. Neither do I. If we lose people that don't believe in the truth, it don't matter.
1 to 200 deliveries, then I think you have some issues beyond what I can help you with. I'm tired of the fighting. I'm tired of the BS, the drama. That's not the point of what we're doing over here. But that's just a part of the YouTube territory. It happens whenever you're fighting for something and you believe in the people and you're trying to help the masses. There's always going to be 2, 3, or 4 people that have been playing the masses for their own gain and benefit that are going to attack you to try to protect what they've been doing to make money. And so, unfortunately, this is what has to be done. This is part of fighting the fight for the people, is making you folks aware of creators, especially out here on YouTube, that are misinforming you and misleading you, right? So, hopefully this is the last time we have to do it. If something new transpires, we'll talk about it. But if not, we need to move forward to the next stage. And the next stage of this whole thing is to, start to work with other people to lobby for better rights for gig workers, and also possibly create a union for gig workers. I'm still waiting to hear back from Gig Workers of America. I emailed them earlier this past week. Haven't heard back from them. Hopefully I hear back from them this week. If I don't hear back from them, I'll email them one more time. And if they don't get back to me, then I know my trolls.
So this is where here's an example of, I have a very different opinion of Eli than Eli on this, and that's okay. Eli can have one opinion and I can have a different opinion. Okay, and I do, but we're watching Eli right now.
Or, without them working with us. But I would rather join forces with them and join forces with as many other groups out there that want to fight for the rights of gig workers, because this is only going to get worse in the future if we don't fight it. More and more companies will come out like DoorDash and do similar things like DoorDash to basically pay you peanuts while they make their billions. Damian Blaze, Eli, you might want to block Mr. Flex out of your live and channel. He brings the drama and noise to cause things on your channel. I may end up doing that, dude. You're probably right. I'll think about that after the show and probably do it after the show. Thank you for that. You're right, though, Damian Blaze. DoorDash Rick, my personal opinion is if everyone could learn how to dash and if I were to deliveries, alas, there would be no YouTube channels for info. Well, I don't know what you mean by that. If everyone could learn how to dash and I guess do 500 deliveries, there will be no YouTube channels for info. Well, I guess what you're saying is there would be no point for these channels if people could figure it out on their own. And I can understand that. And to be honest with you, the channels like Pedro's and all the fluffernutter content of people doing I agree. Someone said earlier, I'm tired of ride along videos and all that stuff. It's boring. You're right. It is boring. I'm bored of it. I don't like ride alongs, right? Now, I watch the ones that Thomas does and other people I care for do because I support them. And they're trying to prove a point right now that they're legit by going live and showing you what they do as they go along throughout the
okay.
day.
So this is
But I'll
where
tell you
this is
this,
where you're confused.
you
It
know,
doesn't make me mad. It's
ride along
irrelevant.
videos
I'm an
of
independent
you showing
writer.
the
Like
type of
I
orders
don't
you're
live
getting,
anywhere near
what you're
Eli. I've never
making,
spoken to
and what
Eli
your
on the
AR
phone,
is. It's a
and
bunch of fluffernutter content that's not going to help people,
and
inspire them,
like
and basically teach
Eli and
them
I both
how to be
happen
a
to have different
profitable
angles on the
DoorDash
same
driver or
cause.
Uber
So,
Eats driver, right?
like, this might make me mad. Separate
So
yourself
I
from
don't
Eli
think
and
these
Robert Reese,
channels
man.
were ever
I'm
beneficial in
not
the
joined
first
to
place.
anybody, so I can't separate myself from anybody.
The
So
thing
you
to
can go
do
play that
is
game.
to
That's not the
talk
game I
about
play.
it
In
on
fact, I
live
don't even
stream,
pay
share
attention to
videos
it. So
about, you
sorry,
know,
you guys. Move on with that one. That's a good one,
about, you
though. I
know,
like that,
car
or I
repairs
don't like it.
and
But move
you
on.
know, proper insurance for food delivery and stuff like that. But people aren't doing that. They're doing the
Yeah,
other
man, it's
things
good we have
because
different
they're
angles. Like,
doing
just because
the
somebody
fluffer
agrees
stuff
with
that
me
gets
on
them
one
the
point
bigger
doesn't
views
mean
and
we
makes
agree on
them
all
the
points.
ad revenue.
Doesn't mean we're
But look
personal
what's
friends in
happened.
the real world. We may
It's
be.
not
We may be
sustainable long
best
term.
friends, but we may not. I
Pedro
don't
has a
know.
YouTube partner
But, like,
program
to
and
try
probably will
and
never get
judge
back in.
me by other
And now
people that
they're
share an
saying they're going to
opinion on a
monetize the
personal
Pedro
issue
and
is like
Hannibal
silly.
stuff.
I'm
Well,
not
what's going to
playing
happen,
that game.
bro,
That's the
on
that's the
Hannibal's
silly
stuff
gang
is
stalking game that
your
we're not going to
AdSense
play
account's been
anymore. We're not going to
blacklisted,
do that.
Pedro.
I'm not going to do that.
Well, I didn't do 100 deliveries per week, bro, because I wasn't going to take trash. I sat around because a lot of trash orders came around my area. And I sat around for hours, not even taking an order. So I did 500 deliveries, 500 and I have it right here. Hang on a second. Give me a second.
All right. Stick with me for a minute, folks. I'm going to see if I can give you an angle of Eli here. Shooty one. But, I'm on the road. What can I say?
554 deliveries. Right there. The green screen is messing up with it. And I did that in just under 4 months because I extremely cherry picked because I was not going to take orders that were not profitable and drive my car into the ground. So yeah, most people can probably do 500 orders in 5 weeks, but I couldn't do 100 orders per week based on how my market was. And now I know why. Some people were probably using the glitch. Too many crappy orders. Holy smokes, Hannibal got the boot on AdSense also? Really? When did that happen, Hot Facts with Robert Reese? Did that happen recently? Let me know before we go off the air. I did not know that. Was Hannibal reusing a lot of content? Hannibal was reusing content and he got popped for reused content, huh? Let me know before we go off the air. Wow. Robert, we need to talk. Are you open to doing an interview with me, Robert? Are you open to doing a show with me? Your channel, my channel, both? Let me know. I have a lot of love and respect for you, man. And I want to support in any way that I can, man. Wow. I'm just waiting for Robert to respond. There's a 1 minute delay. Only 19 acceptance rate. You were picky. Of course I was picky. It was that crappy. Hey, at least my AR shows you I've never used a glitch. And I haven't driven in a while. Yeah. Dude, the order, I have screenshots of every order that came through my phone. I got so many screenshots. I did videos in the past. I'll reshare those. And I'll show you screenshots again. I'm going to show you folks what I went through. How crappy the orders were. Also, a lot of shopping pays in my area. I would go to Walgreens and they were out of stock of everything. So I would waste my time doing shop and pays. I stopped doing shop and pays because wherever I would go do a shop and pay, they were out of stock, and then the customer substitutions were out of stock, or the customer didn't want substitutions. And I get a little bit of money for it, but not the full blown amount. It was a
Hey,
waste
Torp,
of time.
stay with me for 1 minute, because
DoorDash saying no money to be made on YouTube. I can
I'm
make
talking
more
to
money
you.
recycling pop cans. And dude, there's plenty of money to make on YouTube if you do the right thing and you have a channel that takes off and gets good views. You did well, Eli. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, DoorDash Danny, I understand, man. Listen, not everyone is going to make good money on YouTube. I've been monetized for years on 2 channels, and not everyone is going to make good money. I've made okay money. I've made like 5 or 6 grand between ad revenue and super chat, super stickers, and maybe some Cash App and PayPal.
That's not a lot of money, but
Welcome to the show, Uber Cheap AZ. We're about to go off the air. But I do hope to grow my channel more with the
Getting ready to go.
help.
Okay, hold on. I'll come and say that. Sorry, I had some guests over here. Apologize. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I left you guys cold for a minute, didn't I? I'm sorry. Dead air. Thanks for sticking with it all.
And did it my way and DoorDash way.
I did it my way.
And do you have an electric car or do you have a hybrid? If you have a gas-powered car and you're not taking orders at least $3 a mile, then you're not going to be profitable. If you have a hybrid or electric car, and it runs well for a while, and you take care of it, then you can be profitable. But most people have a gas powered car, and you can't be profitable with a gas powered car, in my opinion, unless you're taking orders that are $3 minimum per mile. Uber Jeep AZ, DoorDash Danny. Oh, a lot of people don't do YouTube seriously, which is why they never capitalize on it, but so many are making great money. So I was waiting for someone to respond. What was that message? There's so much going on here.
We're going to get started as soon as Eli's done, guys.
Give me a second here.
Sorry, I went live too early. I thought Eli was wrapping up maybe a couple minutes earlier than he was.
Hannibal got the boot on AdSense also. I'm waiting for Hot Facts with Robert Reese to respond, but I'm not hearing anything. Does anyone know when Hannibal got the boot from the YouTube 50%. Partner program? Is this new?
Large Momo program?
If this just happened, first Pedro, now Hannibal, if that's not saying enough there, these guys lost monetization because they were using other people's content without commentary, and they were using too much of it. Reused content.
Yeah, that's right.
Uber Jeep AC at Big George, tips will always be higher than base on DoorDash. I mean, base is like $1 to $2 in these orders. That's why you can't take no tip orders. No tip, no trip. DoorDash Danny, when I drove taxis, many would wait at the airport half the day, Eli, just for that one big pickup. Meanwhile, I did 40 and made twice as much, but that's taxis. Yeah, but you were still, and maybe gas was cheaper back then. But regardless, you're still paying for gas, man. I mean, and here's the thing: when you're doing rideshare or taxi driving, you're going from one pickup location to another. You're not doing multiple stops, per hour. On DoorDash and Uber Eats food delivery, you're doing anywhere from 15 to 20 to 30, stops per hour. From going to the restaurant to the customer place to your hotspot, back to a restaurant, taking a stack order to restaurants to locations. You're going from place to place to place more often doing food delivery than doing rideshare or taxi driving. If you take one or two customers per hour, doing rideshare or taxi driving, you're basically doing 4 stops max. It is much more feasible, in my opinion, to do rideshare than to do food delivery. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's my opinion, based on fewer stops, less wear and tear on your car, probably more freeway mileage, right?
Yeah,
More
that's
fuel
right.
efficiency, right? Especially if you have a gas-powered vehicle and not a hybrid or an electric. Can't even talk. Not a hybrid or an electric car. All right, folks. I'm going to wrap it up. I really hope that everything settles down in this community. I really hope people can see, the fluff content from the real content. If you like drama and you like trash talking, and that's what you're getting with some of these guys we talked about, do what you got to do. If you value your time and you're looking to learn and become more productive with some of these guys and make more money the right way, the reasonable way, and the ethical way, that's what we do over here on my end. With that being said, have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.
All right, thanks, Eli. That was Eli, guys, and we're going outside because I need a little bit of fresh air. I have. Hey, Torp, how are you? I've kind of felt sick all day. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this morning I went on the always cherry pick morning show, and Cherry's fancies himself to be a satirist. Okay, now Cherry happened to use hate speech directed at me and some other people in the gig community. Satirists and claim so. He's a very bigoted and confused individual. We knew this. That was directed at me, and it was also directed at Thomas Schubeck, and I think both of us have been at the moment to not really be too terribly concerned about that. But something happened today that made me furious. So I was having a little fun this morning with this situation and with a ridiculous person that calls himself Steve Dad Dash. We don't know who this guy really is. It doesn't matter anymore. One of these terrible people that goes on and betrays people that they've been nice to and switches their story and stabs their alleged friends in the back and is in some sick group of individuals that calls themselves men. Anyway, I was making fun of him using my Dad Dash impression, which really isn't that bad. I used to entertain my kids when they were young, so I'm a pretty good entertainer. And I entertain myself too, which is good. But this isn't for entertainment. This is because I'm beyond done with whatever the sick culture is behind somebody that calls himself always Cherry and is looked at as some kind of adored figure in this community. That's all nice that you're an adored figure. Michael, Cherry, guy in Florida, you're going to make fun of this, whatever. That's okay. I'm never going to listen to your voice again. I don't care what you do or say. I'm never going to listen to Hannibal is Thirsty and Pedro again. I don't care what they do or say. I'm never, ever going to listen to Dad Dash's voice again. I might do my Dad Dash impression. I might talk to you about spreadsheets and success and multi-apping. But no, I am not going to pay attention anymore. My friend Thomas Schubeck, known as, I got to take a deep breath. My chest is tight. We had some friends over for dinner, and I am not feeling very social or happy. All I wanted to do was get out to my computer and see if Torp was okay, because the things that were said today about women that have been in Torp's life now or in the past were so disgusting and vile. That I'm ashamed to be the same species as these swine, as these absolute gutter swine that dare to mess with people's lives and family, dare to mess with my life, my family, gang stalk me, gang stalk Eli. And look, I don't care. Even if I did not like Eli, I have many times as a civil rights activist stood for people that I don't like. In fact, the more I don't like them, the more I think I probably need to stand for them. Lisa, okay, you're always in the left lane, going the wrong direction. Okay. Yeah, we're not talking about bad content. We're talking about bad human beings is what we're talking about. So I'm just going to tell you my move going forward is that I will no longer recognize their existence. Yes, I have a very good book that will be available to you and is available to you now. I have lots of content. And from this day forward, my pledge to you is, other than writing about this debacle and the human garbage that has harassed decent people across the world, I will never, ever put any attention into these dirtbags again, because the jig is up. Once you know they're all criminal dirtbags, man, you don't need to know anything more. I'm not a cop. I'm not doing law enforcement. I'm not into prosecuting these guys. My book was not about the dipshits of the gig tube broadcasting community, like Steve Johnson of Rideshare Rodeo, or Dad Dash, whoever the fuck this guy is, like former, God knows. I don't know, he's mentally diagnosing people now. This guy sounds like the biggest psychopath I've heard since Pedro. And Pedro and his Where My Black Friend At Hannibal going to do another slander broadcast tonight. I unsubscribed from everything. I used to watch them because I wanted to see what they were going to say, and I don't care anymore. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I was ashamed to have been on the phone with Cherry when he said those things. So I hung up immediately. And then, of course, he said, well, you hung up as soon as I talked about your buddy Torp. And yeah, that is true. That is true. But Torp, I apologize for even being on the phone with that swine when he said those things. It made me feel like a filthy human being. And I apologize to you, my friend, for whatever role I played in being there so that Cherry would target you and members of your family now and in the past. So that's not what men do. And we know Cherry's not a man. We know Cherry is nobody. Mr. Flex is nobody. All these hate speech slinging pigs, nobody. Fuck them. I'm going to turn it over to my buddy Torp. I love you, buddy. And look, man, I got your back. So you carry on, my brother. You guys have a good Labor Day. I'm sorry that we have people in this world that are so reprehensible that we have to call them out and just basically turn them off. But there's nothing else we can do for these people. They've proven they're reprehensible. They've proven that they will not be reasoned with. They've proven that they cannot be rehabilitated. They cannot learn. So we're done with them. I'm done with them. You guys can carry on if you want. But these guys have already tried to stack and harass me. I laugh at them, but I'm not even laughing at them anymore. They're not funny anymore. The act's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. All right, Torp. Love you, buddy.